calling all grade 9 students. Let's see if this warm-up question still feels easy for you. A lot of students will be struggling to do this question because they forget one of the rules of indices, which is that rule. Are you one of them? Right, here's what we need to do first. We can turn the x to the power of -2 and y to the power of -2 to become 1 over x squared minus 1 over y squared equals -7. Now, we can just do fraction subtraction on the left side. What we can do is just to multiply the denominator, which would be a bracket of x, y squared, and then in order to get the numerator, you can just multiply the y squared by 1, and that gives you y squared, minus x squared times 1, which gives you x squared, equals -7. If you notice, on the numerator, we have y squared minus x squared, which almost looks like x squared minus y squared. We can actually turn that into x squared minus y squared by multiplying both sides by -1. There we go. Therefore, that becomes x squared minus y squared over a bracket of x y squared equals +7. Now, since we know that x squared minus y squared is equal to 7 over 18, we can just substitute that into the numerator over a bracket of x y squared equals +7. We can now multiply both sides by a bracket of x y squared. Therefore, that becomes 7 over 18 equals 7 times a bracket of x y squared. Now, we can actually divide both sides by 7, okay, to get rid of this 7, and this 7 would also be gone. That becomes 1 over 18 equals a bracket of x, y squared. Okay, now we can get rid of the square by using square root. Okay, let me erase this so we have some space, and that becomes xy equals plus minus square root of 18. And please remember that when you square root both sides, you need to use plus minus. Now, this is basically xy equals plus minus square root of 1 over square root of 18. But of course, square root of 1 is just 1. And square root of 18 can be simplified to be 3 square root of 2. So we have xy equals plus minus 1 over square root of 2, plus minus 1 over 3 square root of 2, and therefore, xy to the power of -1 is actually 3 square root of 2. Done. That's how you do it. When you use the rule correctly, everything collapses nicely. Want to see more of these math challenges? Go to EduBulk and let's have some fun.